Upon his death in 1881, the Milwaukee Sentinel wrote that it had rarely been given to a member of the feathered species to attract so much attention in the world as Old Abe. The whole country had heard of him. Indeed, after he died, though, as Russ had already told you, many of the stories that were already fantastic became even more fantastic, whether it was involving his battlefield antics, his birth, and also his gender. On January 31st, 1889, the Milwaukee Sentinel published this article that you see here. As you can probably read, was Old Abe, a hen eagle. They were quoting the words of a woman by the name of Lily Devereaux Blake, who was a famous suffragette at the time. She was making this assertion at certain speaking events, and it had incensed quite a few people, particularly men of the veterans of the 8th Wisconsin. She was quoted as saying, "You all have heard of Old Abe, who accompanied a Wisconsin regiment through the war. Well, after the Old Abe was taken to Madison in the state of Wisconsin to end his days in honorable retirement, and he spent his leisure time in laying eggs." Well, this was quite a surprise to those people who had never actually seen Old Abe lay eggs. But that the Sentinel decided to discredit her by calling her a woman's right woman and grouped her with other so-called writers whose aim, in their opinion, was to show that the glory of war, the honor of successful fight, the fame of heroism in the struggle of mighty forces amid the booming of great guns and the crack of small arms should not be the peculiar possession of the male sex. Interestingly, while the debate didn't become widespread until the end of the 19th century, Miss Blake was not actually the first to call Old Abe a female. It was actually a fellow soldier in the 8th, and it was while Old Abe was still alive and during the war. Sergeant Ambrose Armitage, a member of the Color Guard, kept a journal of the regiment's campaigns and daily life, which was later published as a book called Brother to the Eagle. Several of his entries mention Old Abe, and all of them as a female. The one on the top that you see there was written in September of 1861 and reads, "Company C brought an eagle from Eau Claire with them, which is going to be taken along with the regiment. It is a female eagle of the gray species and is now about 4 months old." A couple of years later, he wrote, "The passing troops have been running in as they always do to see our eagle. She is a great wonder. All spring that bird has been sought for by our men. They ask all kinds of questions about her, and Old Abe gets many a cheer from our passing men. She, though a female bird, is named after our president." Okay, but it does not appear that Blake was quoting Armitage when she was saying that he had laid eggs, and in fact, to this day, I haven't found any evidence of the egg laying that did not stop other people from retelling the story. Including 3 years after Blake's words show up actually in the Madison newspaper called The Democrat, which published the account from another famous activist and fellow suffrage leader by the name of Reverend Anna Howard Shaw, who had recently stated at a gathering, "Why, there is Old Abe, the bald eagle. The men name him Abe. They say he screams, and he stretches his wings. He does this, and he does that. He was carried through the war, then taken to the Centennial. He was pointed out to the youth of the land as the emblem of liberty. The truth is, after Old Abe was taken back to Madison, he got tired of doing nothing and went to laying eggs." Similar angry editorials defending Abe's male honor continued to surface in papers around the country, including the one you see on the right there, which was published in the Washington Post in 1903, which chastised other papers for astonishing our editors and publishing such naughty ideas. So if anyone was quick to discount these claims as just being feminist propaganda, the plot actually thickened at the height of the female suffrage movement in the early 20th century. But this time, women had nothing to do with it. In 1915, the new Wisconsin State Capitol building was completed, replacing the one that, as Russ mentioned, had burned in 1904, which had also claimed the remains of Old Abe. Taxidermists from Jackson County, Wisconsin, presented the Capitol with a replica of Old Abe, and the eagle was said to be from the same family as that of Old Abe. It was mounted above the desk of the Speaker of the Assembly. A short while later, a gentleman by the name of George Viney, who was one of the last remaining veterans of the 8th Wisconsin, came to view the bird and was reportedly confused by the fact it was a different size than the original Old Abe. He decided to question the taxidermist directly and was told, "I know that. You should remember that male bird is never so large as the female bird, and Old Abe, as I understand, was female." This brought back earlier claims from the days of back during the war, where reportedly another soldier in the 8th had stated that he saw a colonel being fed Old Abe's eggs for breakfast during the war. The fight was definitely on. What became known as the Eliza Charge incensed remaining veterans. Maybe you can see it here, but this is a full-page article that showed up in papers around the country on May 30th, 1915. In there it states, "This became a civil war as verbally bitter as those of the 1860s. Oh, that language. So this made me wonder, did either side of the debate actually know? Could they have known? So we decided to talk to some experts. We spoke to a woman by the name of Diane Muller, who's the director of Who's Woods Raptor Center in Whitewater. We first mentioned that the tales of Old Abe laying eggs during the war, and wondered if that could possibly be true. Well, as Russ mentioned, Old Abe was mustered out in 1864 and would have been 3 years old at the time, which is not considered the age of maturity. Most eagles do not lay eggs until they're between 4 and 6. So female or male, this would not have been likely or maybe even possible. So then going to the size, which is the argument that the taxidermists use and other people. Well, it's true. Female eagles are a third size larger than males. But from what Diane Muller told us, it is unlikely that anybody would be able to tell this just from looking at an individual eagle. You need to judge this based on seeing them with their mate, and then it becomes evident which one is the smaller one. So again, this was unlikely. Additionally, if you're thinking like you would with other birds that maybe the evidence would be in the feathers, no, unfortunately they're colored the exact same way. So truly the size in comparison to one another is the only immediately evident way to tell the gender. In the 1980s, they did come up with highly precise measurements that you can use on an individual eagle that require measuring, say, the beak length or the length of the I think it's a toe talon to tell for sure, but there's no way that anyone would have had access to it even if the measurements had been known at that point.